pretty quickly if you haven't already heard it before you came here, but we use a word Om Shanti. And as the daddies, as you'll meet the senior teachers of this Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University during the week, they will expect a hearty Om Shanti, which means Om. They're very old, ancient words that Om, as you may well know, refers to the soul or the spirit within us. And Shanti is the original religion of the soul. So what I would like to do to start is to hear you say Om Shanti. Terrific. And now I can congratulate you all for making the journey. Some of you have come from as far away as Argentina and Chile, and as close as Sri Lanka, but many, many countries. And we understand we have guests, not really guests, your family. And this is your home. So many have said just in the last 24 hours of being here, they felt that this is a home. So that's what it is. You're not guests, you're not delegates, you are not participants in a conference. We're all come to our home to experience Om Shanti and peace of mind. So hearty welcome. And I think you actually deserve a round of applause for the journey. So come on. Tonight we'll have a variety program, which is essentially, as I said, a very brief welcome program. We have two sisters, Sister Tanya and Sister Judy from Canada, will join us shortly for a dance, a welcome dance. And then we will have Dr. Nirmala, who is seated here in front, who is the regional director of the Asia Pacific zone of the Brahma Kumaris and resides in Sydney and many, many other places in the Asian region. And Dr. Nirmala will welcome you as well. And Brother Charlie, my dear Brother Charlie, will go through some of the briefings, some of the issues to be aware of and some of the more practical aspects of ensuring that you get the most out of the spiritual experience you'll have and some of the more practical things that are essential. And then we're very, very honoured that Daddy Prakash Mani, who is the administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris, will be joining us around about 7 o'clock to welcome you. And then we will have a special welcome song that one of the brothers that lives here in Madhuban, Brother Satish, who's a terrific singer, and he wrote this song at lunchtime today for you. And he will be accompanied by Michael Timothy, one of our lovely BK brothers, a professional musician from London. And during Daddy's welcome, Daddy will be speaking in Hindi. And we have translation facilities, as you can see, no doubt, as you are hearing as I speak. So Daddy will be speaking in Hindi to you. And then once we've completed Daddy's welcome, we'll ask you to stand by country. Those that are here, some of the countries I understand may well be with us in spirit as due to their physical tiredness of just having arrived. And then we'll finish with meditation, and Daddy will give you a gift. And that should conclude around 7:45 or earlier if it's possible. And then for dinner and an early night, and then early tomorrow morning. So that's essentially the rundown of this evening's program. You may, those that have been here for a day or so, may have noticed that different times during the day, all the BKs stop. It's not a special effects for a movie. it's what we call traffic control. About 4 or 5 times during the day, at 7, 10:30, 12, 5:30 and 7:30 in the evenings, we stop for 3 minutes. Whatever you're doing, just to be Om Shanti, to put a few traffic lights up in our mind. So they're just a couple of the things I wanted to mention to you. And what I'd like to do now is to invite our sisters Tanya and Sister Judy from Canada to perform their welcome song for you. largest spiritual organisation run almost exclusively by women. And we see ourselves as students rather than devotees or followers. And we are, like you, learning different things in our lives to fix up what needs to be fixed up. And everything that you've seen around you, and almost, I think, importantly, what you haven't seen, is all run by volunteers. From the people in the kitchen, to the people behind the scenes here, putting the stage sets together, to the people arranging your transport to get you to and from here and there, 3 meals a day, cups of tea, cups of coffee, and it's all voluntary. It's just phenomenal. There are approximately 600,000 students of the Brahma Kumaris, or BKs as we call ourselves, in something like 5,000 centres in 85 countries. And perhaps to put that in context, I mean, I'm a banker by profession, and there are very few truly global corporations in the world, and one of them, Citibank, who most of you know, they have 350,000 people in 100 countries. And they've been going for a century longer than the Brahma Kumaris have. But every one of those centres all operate on a voluntary basis. It's really quite remarkable. And one of those remarkable people is Dr. Nirmala Kajaria, originally from Bombay, India, and a medical doctor. And she has dedicated her life to this Brahma Kumaris since the early 1960s. And in the early 70s, a small group of BKs were invited to attend various functions in London and New York. And Dr. Nirmala was one of those souls that has a terrific background in community service and the spiritual service of the BKs. And a small group went to London. But even earlier than that, Daddy Prakashmani, who you'll meet shortly, and another Daddy, Ratan Mohini, who I don't think is here this evening, went to a religious conference in Tokyo in 1953 or 1954, and they stayed away for about a year. And that was really just a few years after the partition of India, where the Brahma Kumaris moved from Karachi in what was then Pakistan to this place, Mount Abu, in 1951. So very soon after coming to India, and anyone that knows the history of India and Pakistan at that time, it was pretty amazing, pretty chaotic. But they went out to begin the service of this country internationally, and then in the early 70s, these group of BK sisters went out to find you and me. So we owe them an enormous debt of gratitude. And Dr. Nirmala looks after a zone, the Asia-Pacific zone, that begins in Sri Lanka, goes right throughout Asia, up into China, Japan, down to Fiji, and down into New Zealand, Australia. And anyone who travels around that part of the world knows that's a pretty big part of planet Earth. And I'd like to invite Dr. Nirmala onto the stage to welcome you all. So if we could welcome Dr. Nirmala.
Om Shanti, and good evening to all of you. And welcome everyone. I'm sure it would have been a remarkable journey coming to India, especially coming to Mount Abu. Some of you have left their country for the first time. Those who have left their country first time to come here, will you raise your hand? Okay. And those who have been in contact with Brahma Kumaris, means attending Brahma Kumaris function for the first time, will you raise your hand? So I'm sure they are the really courageous souls to come. Because when you go back naturally, you will be quite thrilled about your journey, and you will be full of so many experiences. But I know some of the participants who came for the first time to India, and when they shared their experience, one of them shared their experience that I have never remembered God so much on my journey as this time. Because those who have been traveling in the West in the car, they got different experience from traveling here from Ahmedabad to Abu. So this headquarters of Brahma Kumaris, we have been here since 1952, and mountain was selected specially because most of the Indian yogis who are been meditating have chosen mountain for their meditation. So Dadi Prakash Mani is with us. So mountain has got its specific vibrations, which naturally you will experience in this 1 week's time that you are here. So Brahma Kumaris headquarters has got yogic vibration because last 51 years, hundreds of thousands of people have been meditating here. So it has created specific vibration which you will experience during your stay. So this is a special place, and your visit will be naturally very enlightening, knowledge-wise, experience of meditation, and experience of love of the family. Because, as Michael was saying, this is not only an organization, but we call it home for our family. And we are all brothers and sisters. The founder, Brahma Baba, whose picture is at the back, we consider him as our spiritual father. And we call this as a university also where we study. So it's a place for studying, it's a place for experiencing family, and it is also, we call it as a hospital for the mind or soul, where we are able to treat or cleanse our mind of all the negativity which has been there for a while. Because until we cleanse that negativity, we will not experience real peace. So this few days that you are here, you should take that full benefit of all the programs that we have arranged. And it is not only just enlightening, but it is also you'll be going to various places like Peace Park, Global Hospital, etc., to have outing also. So this is a very refreshing period because it's retreating. You will be retreating from your normal life, but at the same time recharging yourself with spiritual power, and it is rest, refreshment also. So these few days that you are here, you will be busy, and yet we have tried to arrange the program in an easy and light manner so that you have got some time to rest or go for shopping, etc. So I will not take much more time, but hope you will take full benefit in your visit. Om Shat.
So good evening, everyone, and I'd also like to add my welcome to all the others that you've already received. My purpose tonight is trying just to give you a brief overview of some of the more practical aspects of peace of mind, because I think we have about 350 to 360 of us participating, and we're about 50 countries, so it's quite a remarkable number. We've all come from all corners to reach here. And I've just got a bit of important information just to share with you. The aim of this program, I think, as all of you are aware, is to go very deep into the knowledge, the practice, the method, and the experience of meditation. Our aim is to really emphasize the experiential side of meditation. I think that perhaps you've already felt the feelings of this complex, the atmosphere here, because I think this place has been especially or specifically built for such events as this, to facilitate a spiritual experience for all of us. There's numerous programs that take place during the year, but not so many international gatherings like this one. I feel also that most of us, I think everywhere in the world these days, we live such busy lifestyles. Is there anyone here who's not living an extremely busy life? And I think it's quite special that we've actually committed to a full week to come all the way across the world to this place on a mountaintop in India, to a spiritual university, to deeply focus on my spiritual journey and to nurture the soul. So I think that's very, very special. And we've set up a program for you to try to facilitate a maximum experience while you're here. And the way the days have been set up, we're going to begin each day with meditation at 6:30. And there's a lovely meditation hall downstairs below us, directly below this hall. And we'd like to invite you to be there before 6:30 just to get settled. And we'll have 45 minutes of meditation. There'll be a little bit of commentary, a little bit of silence, but it's a wonderful way to begin the day. And I know in all the centers around the world, we begin the day with the practice of meditation. It helps you get into that mode. And directly after meditation, you're all invited to join us for a silent walk for about half an hour. And we'll take you around the mountains here, which are looking very beautiful at the moment after the monsoon rains. So we do request that we begin each day with that silence, that time for the self, just to remain quiet. And after breakfast, The mornings we use just for going deeper into the spiritual knowledge as the foundation of meditation practice, and there will be time for discussions. We will divide into smaller groups, and we'll also meet some of the older and experienced daddies that Michael was telling you about, the senior sisters of the BKs, the Brahma Kumaris. The afternoons, we've got a lot of outings planned for you. We'll take you to the original complex of the Brahma Kumaris, which was the one founded here in the early 50s. We'll also take you to the hospital, which is a wonderful experience. We'll go and meditate on Baba's Rock and at sunset, and we'll also visit the Peace Park. And so in the afternoons, we'll have time to go out and see what activities there are around the mountain, around Mount Abu. And then every evening, we'll have at least half an hour meditation once again. And after dinner, there's various things planned, including some wonderful entertainment, some Indian dancing and so on. So we try to keep a balanced program of spiritual knowledge, the study of knowledge, the practice of meditation, time for interaction, but also a bit of fun in there as well. Now, a few of the practical things. We have an information office, and I think most of you would have visited there. I hope, did everyone get their pack of information? Has everyone received it? Yes, I'm seeing most nod. And what I'm talking about is actually on this pink sheet of paper. So I'm just going to cover it briefly, but if you want more details, I'd suggest that you do read the information in the pack. You should have registered there and get your packs. And if you need, and we do suggest, to leave your valuables, your passport and your money and so on, we'd like you to leave them in the office there. Now, accommodation, we have 3 areas where virtually all of you will be accommodated. One is known as Harmony House, which is up this way. And the other one is Vishnu Puri. You'll get to know all these words after a couple of days, I hope. And the other one is Shanti Kunj. And everyone will be accommodated there. And a little bit of advice we share each year is that the bathrooms, sometimes we've found in past years the hot water doesn't come through so quickly. And so people have spent a week having cold showers or cold baths because they were just too polite to mention anything. So we often mention to you now at this point that please run the water. Hot water will come. But we always do request that you conserve water. As you could imagine, that water is very valuable here. So if you can conserve water, we do appreciate it as much as possible. Now, the laundry system is that every morning you can leave laundry in the foyer of your accommodation complex, but it needs to be marked, and there are marking pens there. And you'll need your name and the place you're in just 2 letters. If it's Harmony House, HH. If it's Vishnu Puri, VP. And your room number, so VP 36 or Harmony House 54. And this means that you'll get your clothes back easily. Otherwise, they might never be seen again, so it's worthwhile doing that. And they will return to you the next day. They'll be washed and ironed for you. Now, the food, we have a beautiful dining hall at the top of the dining complex. There's a huge dining complex over here. Most of you have been there, but some who haven't arrived will be going for dinner in just a few minutes. There's 3 queues to receive your food, and one of them has food cooked with chili if you like hot food. But look for the little sign, because if you don't want hot food and you are in that queue, you might find something you're not expecting. And if any of you do find that the food is a little bit difficult, and some do, just please tell your escort and we can make arrangements for you. Now, there's a bank also on this premises, in this building, and tomorrow, if you haven't been on a tour of the complex already, at 2 p.m., there will be a tour leaving from the reception area, and that will take you to all the areas in the complex. And including the bank, you can see where you can change money if you need to. We will be going on many outings, as I was mentioning, so that is planned in the program, so you don't need to make your own plans to visit things like the Dilwara Temple, which is one of India's most beautiful and famous temples. We'll visit there, plus all the various Brahmakumaris complexes on the mountain. But we make a very special request while you're here. If you want to go walking, please only do it in the daytime. Don't do it at night, and we do ask you please to respect that. And if you do want to go walking during the day, please go in a small group, at least 3 or 4 people. Health, we suggest that you drink the bottled water here, and I'm sure most of you know that. It's available from the accommodation complexes and also the reception area. And we have a dispensary here with both Western medicine and traditional Indian medicine too. So the dispensary is just beside Vishnu Puri, and you'll see that when you go on your tour. Now we have also, if you need toiletries, creams, hats for the sun and so on, we have a little shop also on this premises, which is just beside this building here, and that's open. And the hours of opening are on this green sheet here. And in fact, this green sheet's quite valuable because it has the hours of opening of the bank and the communications department, the dispensary. All the information you need to know, all the departments, is on this green sheet here. Now, communication, I think that many of us do like to want to communicate back home, let people know we've arrived. There is a telephone exchange. You can make international calls in the training section, which is just this direction from this building. And we have the email system here. It's quite a unique email system because we don't have enough computers for everyone to sit on and send their own and receive their own emails. So what we request is if you want to send an email, if you can handwrite it, and leave it in the global office, which is also in this building. I know I'm talking about many places, but someone will take you on a tour if you haven't already been and show you where that is. There's a little tray there that just says emails, and someone will type it. And so because they're going to be typing many emails, we request if you keep them brief. We would really appreciate if you can keep them as essence-full as possible. Now, for receiving emails, we'll make a notice board in the dining area, and we will pin your emails to the notice board with your name and your country. So every meal, we'll update it before the meals. So if you're waiting on emails, just check the notice board there. All the sessions will be taped, and you'll be able to buy the tapes or maybe even receive them on a CD, and we'll give you more information throughout the retreat about that. So mainly we just do request that if you need anything, and I really stress this, if you need anything, please do ask, because our experience is that as you feel comfortable, the more you're comfortable here, the more you can absorb spiritually. If you're physically comfortable, then you tend to be able to meditate better and take more from all the effort you've made to come to India, come to Mount Abu. The more you're physically and mentally comfortable, then I think spiritually it will be a very, very special time. So that's everything really. Just tomorrow morning, we'd like to invite you to come to the meditation at 6:30. There will be tea in the accommodation complexes at 5:30, from 5:30 a.m. You're welcome to have your cup of tea or coffee. And if you could try to arrive on time, because if we're a little bit late, it disturbs others who have started the meditation. And then we'll go on the silent walk, and then we can catch up at breakfast time. Anyway, it's really wonderful to see you all, and I thank you for your patience listening to all these details. And anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you later on. Thank you, and Om Shanti.
Dadi Prakashmani was about 15 when she first joined the Brahmakumaris, and in 1969 when Brahma Baba passed away, she was handed the reins of administrative responsibility of the BKs, and has travelled to pretty well every corner of the planet. And this program is partly her inspiration, but certainly her support for this program is very much appreciated, and we are very, very grateful for that. So Daddy will speak in Hindi, and Sister Mira, who's up in the translation booth, yep. Do that, everyone? Great, the translation's working. Mini United Nations.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. आत्मा की शांति है। ओम शांति। ओम शांति। आत्मा की शांति है। अपने घर में आइए, अपने घर में आइए, मिलती घर में शांति है। ओम शांति। ओम शांति। आत्मा की शांति है। स्वागतम 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 शुभ स्वागतम। शांति धर्म है, शांति कर्म है, शांति में हम आत्मा। शांति सिंधु ज्योति बिंदु शिव पिता परमात्मा। शांति धर्म है, शांति कर्म है, शांति में हम आत्मा। शांति सिंधु ज्योति बिंदु शिव पिता परमात्मा। शिव पिता परमात्मा। शांति धाम में शिव की याद में सच्ची मन की शांति है। शांति धाम में शिव की याद में सच्ची मन की शांति है। अपने घर में आइए, अपने घर में आइए, मिलती घर में शांति है। ओम शांति। ओम शांति। आत्मा की शांति है। स्वागतम 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 शुभ स्वागतम। मन में शांति, तन में शांति, घर में शांति, जग में शांति, जल में शांति, थल में शांति, नभ में शांति, सब में शांति।
मन में शांति, तन में शांति, घर में शांति, जग में शांति, जल में शांति।
ज्ञान सरोवर है मनोहर, शांति में ये सुख सरोवर। हंस आए मान सरोवर, लेते हैं प्रभु वो पलकों पर। ज्ञान सरोवर है मनोहर, शांति में ये सुख सरोवर। हंस आए मान सरोवर, लेते हैं प्रभु वो पलकों पर। लेते हैं प्रभु वो पलकों पर। दादी माँ के मुखमंडल पे स्नेह ममता कांति है। दादी माँ के मुखमंडल पे स्नेह ममता कांति है। अपने घर में आइए, अपने घर में आइए, मिलती घर में शांति है। ओम शांति, ओम शांति, आत्मा की शांति है। ओम शांति, ओम शांति, आत्मा की शांति है। अपने घर में आइए, अपने घर में आइए, मिलती घर में शांति है। स्वागतम स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम। स्वागतम स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम। स्वागतम स्वागतम स्वागतम, शुभ स्वागतम।
ओम शांति। सभी प्रेम से बोलो ओम शांति। शांति के दाता आप हम सबका परम पिता परमात्मा, जिसकी ये यूनिवर्सिटी कहो अथवा घर कहो है, जो इस यूनिवर्सिटी में आते वो यही पहला अनुभव करते कि कैसे हम स्वयं सेल्फ को भूल गए, अर्थात सोल को भूल गए और गॉड फादर को भूल गए, तो अशांति अशांति हुई। और यहाँ आए हो, ये कहा अपना घर है, क्योंकि अपने गॉड फादर का घर है, जो गॉड फादर हम हर एक का फादर है। तो फादर के घर में बच्चे आए हो तो अपना घर हुआ। और जो इस शरीर को पालना करने वाला घर है, वो है कर्मों का घर। और ये घर है हम आत्मा जिसका धर्म शांति है, उसका घर। तो आप सभी यहाँ प्रैक्टिकल में ऐसी शांति अनुभव करना जो कभी लाइफ में नहीं की हो। और ये फिर माइंड कैसे शांति का अनुभव करता, वो जाके जहाँ जहाँ से आप आए हैं वहाँ अपने फैमिली फ्रेंड्स को सुनाना, क्योंकि इस समय हर एक की, चाहे देश चाहे विदेश, चाहे नर नारी, भाई बहन, हर एक को चाहिए पीस। क्योंकि सभी को माइंड में पीस नहीं, पीसलेस है। तो यहाँ से सबको पीसफुल बनना, क्योंकि ये बहुत सहज ते सहज चीज है पीस। क्योंकि माइंड का अथवा कहो सोल का वास्तव में स्वरूप धर्म है ही पीस, परंतु सोल कॉन्शियस को भूल बॉडी कॉन्शियस में आए हैं, इसलिए पीसलेस अथवा माइंड अशांत होता है। तो यहाँ सबको कैसे अपने सोल कॉन्शियस में रहो, उसकी मेडिटेशन सवेरे में बताया 6 से 7 बजे स्टडी करेंगे। तो ये एक मेडिटेशन जो है वो है वास्तव में सोल कॉन्शियस, गॉड कॉन्शियस के लिए। और वह आप जरूर स्टडी करें तो आप आए हो, जाने से पहले अनुभव करेंगे कि सचमुच हमारे माइंड में कितनी पीस एंड हैप्पी है। क्योंकि पीस के साथ हैप्पी भी चाहिए, खुशी भी चाहिए। तो आप यहाँ दोनों अनुभव करेंगे। इसलिए सभी ये क्लासेस मेडिटेशन के जरूर स्टडी करेंगे। बाकी हमें आप सभी को देख मुझे विशेष खुशी हुई कि इतने सारे विश्व के चारों तरफ से आप हमारे भाई बहने अपने बाप के घर में पहुंचे हो। ये यूनिवर्सिटी है या आप सबके बाप का, फादर का घर है। तो घर में तो शांति हो और लव हो। तो आप यहाँ घर की तरह लवली आपस में बन रहना। यहाँ न मेरा है न तेरा है, पर सब कुछ शिव बाबा गॉड फादर का है। तो आप सबको यहाँ बहुत कुछ नॉलेज मिलेंगी कि ये आप सब यहाँ स्टेज के एक्टर आए हो। इसका ड्रामा के इस वर्ल्ड को ड्रामा कहा जाता है, जिस ड्रामा में क्या क्या स्पेशल पार्ट है वह सब आपको नॉलेज मिलेगी। तो इसके लिए हम तो थैंक्स देंगे हमारे डॉक्टर निर्मला बहन एंड ब्रदर चार्ली अदर वन, जिन्होंने आप सबको स्वागत किया और इनवाइट भी किया। तो अभी हम खास आई भी हूँ आप लोगों से मिलने, क्योंकि मैं ये एक है अबू रोड, एक है माउंट, आप माउंट में हो, मैं 2-4 दिन के लिए नीचे गई हुई हूँ, जो वहाँ 2000 चिल्ड्रेन आए थे और कल में फिर हमारी एल्डर सिस्टर्स बहुत आ रही है। इसलिए मैं आप लोग से अभी मिलके फिर अभी हम नीचे, जिसका नाम है शांति वन, वहाँ जाएंगी। तो इसलिए आप सबका फिर से दादी स्वागत करती, वेलकम वेलकम वेलकम। ओम शांति।
Thank you very much, Daddy. Just brief before we start the introduction by countries, we're going to ask you to stand up by country and say hi to everyone, wave to us. But I'd just like, if I could, very briefly, just to introduce one of our other senior administrative senior daddies here. Daddy Ratan Mohini has also come up, and I was wondering if Daddy could just stand and wave to you all. Yeah, and Daddy, would you like to come and sit up here, please? Daddy Ratan Mohini, if you would like to join us. It was Daddy Prakashmani and Daddy Ratan Mohini that first went overseas in the very early 1950s. And it's terrific to have them. And also Sister Mohini is one of our most senior sisters here, who's also very happy to see you. And Sister Mohini, Sister Mooney, excuse me, works a lot with Sister Mohini and makes a whole lot of things happen behind the scenes. And we also have, thank you, very grateful, thank you very much. So firstly, what we'd like to do is we're going to, if we just quickly go through by the countries, so that Daddy's actually asked for this process so that she can see where you're coming from, and we'll start alphabetically. Our guest from Argentina, would you like to stand and let us know where you're from? And there's a country, Aruba, which is in the West Indies. Hey, Om Shanti. Our guests from Australia. Most welcome. Our guest from Austria. Austria. Our guests from Bolivia. There we are. We have a big contingent from Brazil. Would you stand up? Hey! And Belarus. Yep. Welcome. From Canada. We have guests from Canada. Yep. And our guests from Chile. And from the People's Republic of China. And I think, yeah. Which is now Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, as it's called. And guests from Colombia. Our guests from Costa Rica. Are they here? Yes. And Denmark. We got our, yes. Welcome. From Egypt. We have, yep. Hi. And from France. Most welcome. And from Germany. Yep. And of course, our host country, India. Hey! How you going? And Indonesia. Our brothers and sisters from Israel. And now from Italy. And now over to Japan. Welcome. And from Kenya. Yeah. And our guest from Latvia. There we go. And also a big group from Malaysia. Yes, welcome. Whoa, so many. Mauritius. Now over to the other side of the world, Mexico. Big group, well, welcome. We have a group from Morocco. Marduk, no? Okay, they're coming, they're on their way. Here in spirit. From Myanmar, from Burma. My brother, hi. From the Netherlands, from Holland. From New Zealand. And now from Norway. Yeah. From the Philippines. From Reunion. From Russia, a big group. Yes. From the Seychelles. Welcome. From Singapore. Good group. From the Republic of South Africa. And now from Sri Lanka, we have some guests. Yes. Welcome. From the Kingdom of Sweden, we have... And from Switzerland. Okay. And now from Taiwan. We have one guest. Yes, okay. From another kingdom, Thailand, our guests. And from Turkey, we've got a good group. Where there's... Welcome. Now from Turks and the Caicos Islands in the West Indies. Welcome. From the Ukraine. Everyone's here. Wow, welcome. We also have a big group from the United Kingdom. Wow. And we also have brothers and sisters from the United States of America. Most welcome. Now from Uruguay. Say hey. Yes. From Vietnam, we have some guests as well. And now from Zimbabwe, we have, are they here? No, they're here in spirit. Now, have I missed anybody out? No? Guatemala, please. Any? España. Acho, please. And I hope I haven't caused any diplomatic problems. Any other country that hadn't made it onto the list as at 3 o'clock this afternoon? No? Terrific. Most welcome. Thank you, thank you. And we're going to go to dinner and have a good night. And BKs, of course, receive Toli at the end. Om Shanti. From Thailand, would you come onto the stage, please? Thank you. Canada. Over to you. Followed by Chile and Hong Kong, SAR. So if you could come up, please. So Hong Kong. Yep, China and Colombia. And Costa Rica and Denmark. Followed by Egypt and France. And then Germany and Guatemala. They get into the queue.
Closer, a little bit closer, please.
After the guests from Malaysia, with Mauritius and Mexico will join.
Please come closer.
We can then have Myanmar, the Netherlands, Holland, and then New Zealand, Norway and the Philippines.
सबसे ज़्यादा नंबर यहाँ से मिलेंगे
Our guests now from Reunion and also from Russia. If you can stand in the queue, it'd be terrific.
Thank you very much.
Up to, and then our guests from the Seychelles, from Singapore, and South Africa, if you could please come. Sri Lanka, from Sweden, and from Switzerland, from Spain, if you would please come into the queue. And from Taiwan, from Thailand, from Turkey, if you would please join us. After our guests from Turkey, we can have guests from the Turks and Caicos Islands, from the Ukraine, and also from the United Kingdom. If you could please come and join the queue. Then we have our guests from the United States, from Uruguay, from Vietnam, and also our guest from Zimbabwe is here. So they guests from the United States of America and the United Kingdom who joined us.